There is no one way to do nature preschool, and we can all learn from how others are doing it. Hello, I'm Nicole Gervais Fravel, and this is Wildwood Teaching. And it was in that spirit of learning how others are doing it and always searching for new inspiration that I went on a tour of some of San Antonio's nature based preschools during the Natural Start Conference at the end of June. I toured three schools in three incredibly different settings. None of them were exactly like Wildwood Nature School, as it should be, since they all were taking advantage of their own place and they all emphasize different aspects of what it means to be nature based. And so I thought that I'd share some photos and insights from the tour with you, and I hope they'll provide you with some inspiration as well. So, the first place that we visited was the showcase site for Pre K for SA. That's Preschool for San Antonio, is a publicly funded citywide preschool initiative. They have both their own preschools that they run as publicly funded preschools, and they also provide training and outreach to, I think they said 600 privately operated preschools throughout San Antonio. And so the building that we toured is where they have an operating preschool in that building, but it's also where they bring the teachers for observations and training. So they have complete observational viewing rooms where educators and researchers can watch the teachers and children at play. And so I'm going to say that since it is designed to be kind of the flagship site, it felt very much like a catalog. So picture a very curated, natural look. So I kind of approached it as I would looking at a catalog, where I'm choosing ideas to borrow from that catalog. So it was designed, so you can see here, it was designed with kind of a courtyard in the middle so that each classroom has a door that opens straight into that outdoor courtyard. And it's a playground that I'm going to say is designed to look natural with a lot of wood and natural loose parts. Um, so some of the interesting design elements that they had here, you can see this is not your typical sandbox. They have kind of a sectioned off area. One area does have sand, other has tree cookies, other has pine cones, and they can kind of fill in different natural items that the children have access to and can play. I loved this. It's just your simple um, frame for a garden greenhouse that would go over a raised bed, and the children can drape cloth over it to create structures or a little hiding place or a tunnel. They had running through the center of the courtyard a ditch, and at one end of the ditch is a pump, so they can turn the water on and the children can create a river to play in through the middle of the playground. This is San Antonio, so like I said, it's a very hot area, particularly in the summer. So it's cement underneath it. There's a bridge that goes over it. It's again not wild. It is the manicured bushes that they put in to mimic wild habitat there at San Antonio. They also had some outdoor classrooms. So this is in addition to the courtyard where teachers could take their particular group into different sections. I think they had 3 or 4 sections. one section set up to be a garden area with raised beds, and a section for maybe cooking or preparing the food. Another classroom was set up as a huge mud kitchen. So for dramatic play, they had one that was kind of a music discovery area. And obviously, the teachers could bring their group in there and do whatever they wanted within the space. But it kind of sectioned it off so that multiple teachers could come out. And I think they had some sort of reservation system for how the teachers could decide so that you're not running into other classrooms. Nobody I mean, you're super lucky if you have this amount of space. But a lot of things to borrow, like I like the chalkboards hanging on the fence and how they are really using the fence is as an extension of that outdoor area. So, um, also another interesting thing that they did kind of with their indoor spaces. So this is a space, like I said, that has, they each have their individual classrooms, is that they really used every available space so that the hallways are also learning areas. So this is a little library that's set up in the hallway as a cute area. It invites the parents to have some time with the students. They also had some sensory items in the hallways. They had some different types of walkways, so that, children who were beginning walkers, the toddlers, had some different types of terrain within the hallways. So really with the idea that these transitions are also opportunities for learning. And this also amazing, right? This is the family room, right? We're going to encourage parents to come and stay. We're going to have reading materials. We're going to have places where they can hang out and really have a community space within the preschool. The second place that we visited, almost the complete opposite. And this was Sprout School. And I am going to say Sprout School is the poster child for making the most of whatever space you do have. They completely transformed what I think was an abandoned parking lot and a very, very narrow strip of land into a place of wonder with a ton of fun details. They had a corn maze, like a mini corn maze, preschool size, right? They had kid-sized picnic tables where the children could stop and eat for lunch. I love this because this table is super low to the ground. Right? We're going to sit on the ground so that you're going to maximize space, but we're going to encourage those levels for children to explore. There's where they might be able to take the nature that they're finding and lift it up and explore it closer. I was especially impressed with how they integrated what they were doing into the surrounding community. There's a farmer's market that is right across the street from the school, and the children visit the farmer's market, and they also take on caretaking responsibilities. They plant the plants in the park. They sweep the pathways to make them nice and clean for everybody. The church where the indoor classrooms are located right off the parking lot hosts a food pantry, and the children have taken on the responsibility of keeping that food pantry stocked. So they will take walks to various spaces in the neighborhood, whether that's the farmer's market or whether that is local grocery stores, and purchase the items for the food pantry and keep it stocked. They often walk through the neighborhood and say hello to the people in the neighborhood who have kind of now adopted the school. So I think that this is truly, right, a sense of place. Right? This is place-based education at its best, and I admire how you have the vision right? To see this abandoned parking lot and say, I can take this narrow strip, and as you can see, it keeps going down, right? And behind where I took the picture, there are hammocks. So there's kind of like sectioned off where you just travel nicely from one place to another. There is a place for the children to gather, and these are all found really simple, inexpensive, other than the mulch. And truly, you can get mulch. Most communities have recycled mulch programs that you can just get it from the city, and they'll even deliver it for you. Um, all right. The last place that we visited was the Nest Nature School, and it is also exemplary of place-based education, just a really different place than the Sprout School. So the children and teachers at the Nest have the full run of a 66-acre historical farm. Um, they can access nature trails, and there's a huge community garden where the classes can visit. They keep bees, they keep chickens, and each day the classes can choose where they want to walk. And usually they said they bring it to the students for a vote. There are so many different options. They don't bring all of the options. Maybe the teachers have already narrowed it down. These are the three places that we're going to spend our day today. Or we could spend our day today. Do you want to vote? And we'll decide where we want to spend our time. These first two pictures are from the community garden. Um, and again, like I said, this is the community. The community has access to this garden as well. And this is a little like tunnel creation. There are three different entrances. There's one in the middle and then one on each end of the tunnel. Again, I mean, you have to have time to make it grow, but super easy to set up with a trellis and some vines. I love this picture on the right because what they are creating is an accessible raised bed so that you can stand up and use the raised bed. You can roll a wheelchair. It's the perfect height for a wheelchair so that anybody can use a raised bed. Um, the classrooms themselves were grouped together on one end of the farm. And what I think is fairly unusual for preschools, they were actually built as preschool classrooms. I think oftentimes we're finding spaces that were homes, that were commercial spaces, and we are transforming them. Um, so the cool thing about having it, being able to design it from the start, is you can really be intentional about the design. So each of the classrooms starts with a covered outdoor space. So kind of like a screened in porch. And that is where the children have their cubbies. That's where they would drop off their personal items for the day, but they also have exploration tables set up so children can go in that space. And then you walk into what I'm going to call kind of like a mud room. It has the sink. So these teachers mostly had it set up as an art area, right? You have access to the water, places to washing. And then you go to the innermost space of the classroom, which is very much set up like a traditional classroom space. Um, but I love how they made it super cozy, right? I love the draping over the light table so that you have that place where you feel like you are in a hidden secret place where you can have your own discoveries. Um, and then in between every two classrooms, I don't think I have a picture of this. Every two classrooms, in between every two classrooms, there's a shared outdoor space. And each shared outdoor space is a little bit different. Like one space was set up to be a sand play area. One place was set up with some more raised beds and some garden areas. Um, and then they also have access to the classrooms again, like the pre-K for all space. They have a center courtyard, and that has kind of natural climbing structures. So don't think a metal metal playground, but think, stumps or bridges made out of logs, but they're definitely climbing spaces. And then there is also some space behind all of the classrooms, which has another mud kitchen, a place for them, a picnic area for lunch. So I feel like everywhere you turned on this 66 acres was something interesting and different and new for the children to explore. There's no way they could ever not find something interesting to capture their attention. So I came away from all three places completely inspired. Each place had their own spin on what nature based learning means, and each school tapped into their own sense of place. None of them are going to be exactly what you are going to create on your property, but I hope they provided plenty of ideas that we can all borrow. And I just feel so inspired that so many educators are creating places of wonder for young children. And I hope that you are doing the same where you are. Please do join me here next week for another free episode of Wildwood Teaching, when I will be talking about my 10 favorite, let's call them gadgets, that I like to bring outdoors with us to aid our outdoor explorations. I will see you there.